Let's talk about how to think for yourself when the world won't let you. Yes, and it is going to be controversial. For those who don't know, my name is Bianca. I am going to come here and reintroduce myself and reclaim my identity, my power, and sovereignty because the world will try by its utmost best to make sure that you don't think for yourself, you don't know yourself, and you can't heal from yourself and past relationships or explanationships or situationships and any kind of ship, basically. We are in a world that really endures and works through the thoughts of a sunken place. It's easier to sell to you when you're depressed, when you don't like yourself, when you're stressed. It's very easy to seduce you, when you are not in your power. It's very easy to control you when you have no emotional stability in yourself. It's very easy to manipulate you when you are looking for validation too. And so I've gone through all of that, okay? I've gone through the spiritual aspect of being in a sunken place and the mental aspect of being in a sunken place. So I can only speak about that, reclaiming the narrative. I've got my notes down here, so just hold on. Yes, how to think of yourself, how to think for yourself when the world won't let you. We need to really realize that these topics are not just five key takers of number one, do this, do that. No, these are long time and long term investments for yourself. You don't just wake up one day and just get five key takers from an influencer and Bob's your uncle the next day. Wow, you already established the G code, the Vindici code. No, that's not how it works. This is real work when it comes to realizing that if you have been in a place of depression, alienation, discrimination, humiliation, isolation, defamation of character. These are actual inner workings that you have to do for yourself and to heal yourself, okay? So, when we talk about how to think for yourself when the world won't let you, let's anchor who you are from a spiritual perspective, okay? This is very, very important. And it doesn't, at this point, I don't care if you believe or you don't believe, but that is the anchor of everything that comes through here, your mindset. Because when you are saying, I don't believe, then what can you achieve? Belief is so powerful to the point where people will die for something. And it doesn't matter what anybody thinks. We've seen this time and time again throughout history. There are people, and I mean, let's talk about spiritual leaders, right? Who will die for a cause. Let's talk about activists, okay, who will die for a cause. And being South African, being in a or growing up around activists, growing around Zulus, you know, there's that sense of warrior spirit that people really underestimate that is very powerful. We're living in a world where people are, you know, labeling people and that kind of obviously gets ingrained as people think about this for this tribe and they think this, and those are all thoughts. You get where I'm going. But the real anchor behind not caring about those thoughts is your belief system. Where are you in your belief system? What is your belief system? Where are you strong enough to know that it does not matter what anybody says? This is what I believe in. This is what I can achieve in. And this is where I stand at. So I realized this very at an early age, and I'm very grateful for how I grew up. I grew up in a very spiritual home. And I wouldn't say it was religious. I wouldn't say it was, traditional. I wouldn't say it was specific, or it was just spiritual. And I would say it was in the connection of creativity, like I say. People underestimate all these avenues that are really, really important for your spiritual well being. We are spiritual beings having a human body experience. Okay. And If we are constantly only just ignoring the belief aspect, you are basically ignoring how you have been programmed, which then alternates and which also um, gets programmed. I was going to say defecates, or yeah, it gets digested and it gets programmed or like sent out like seeds throughout the thoughts. You are forgetting the very, very same thing that anchors how your thoughts get, programmed, how you get to think the way you think. Um, and also notice, that as the years became very, and like I said, I think in the first video, of deconstructing scriptures and deconstructing scripts of identity, that is very that made me realize that the world of westernization is not on belief systems at all. And there comes a point where it becomes problematic, whether you believe in Buddha, whether you believe in Jesus Christ, whether you believe in love, whether you believe in hate. Those are still things that you need to believe in every single day. And when we are becoming so surface level in our thought processes, where we like, no, we don't need to believe in anything, we are liberals, ha ha ha, in some shape or way or form, you are still being programmed into a thought process that you didn't even know you were programmed into. And you're not even conscious about it. And like I said, this is not going to be a video where I'm going to give you key takers, but I'm going to open your insights in why it's important to know where are you anchored spiritually? Because if you cannot be anchored and if you cannot be believe, then what is your being to achieving? It's very, very powerful. If we really decode words, for me, my name is Bianca, right? So be, the aspect of being is also the aspect of understanding how we do things. So from being to doing to making to creating, those are avenues, right? That have little seeds of thoughts. But the being is more powerful than the doing, because I become what I believe in. I become in how I really believe in myself, in how I think. I become in so many aspects beyond just a programming of thoughts and, you know, I'm losing track here, but I hope you understand. Like, it's very important to understand your belief system so that you understand your thought processes. That's where I'm coming from. Your thought processes are based on subconscious thoughts and beliefs, and also on conscious thoughts and beliefs. And sometimes your thoughts are not even your own thoughts. That's why I'm saying this. Sometimes your thoughts are not your own thoughts. Sometimes your thoughts are collective thinking, collective thoughts throughout the years, throughout your family, throughout society, throughout your group. I mean, if you grew up, in if you grew up in a different race, and that certain race has an issue with another race, their thought processes will become your own, because you will start thinking like them, you will start acting like them, and it's therefore you will start just walking around thinking that every person thinks like you, when that is not true. So how to think for yourself when the world won't let you? Start with a very important anchor system, which is your self belief. Believe in something. Believe that no matter what changes within the world, because trust me, things will change. 20 years ago, we were more accepting of Christianity, right? And we were more against Islam, and we were more against what's it? You know what I mean, Muslims and stuff like that. 20 years later, look how the tables are turning. Now it's more like we are so tired of scripture. We are so tired of Christianity. They are so this, they are so that, and we're more implementing a new way, right? And whether both are good or bad, You have to think about what is happening from a belief system, from a spiritual system, and also from a religious point of view. Because that religious point of view anchors the way the world thinks, the way you must think about a certain person, about their race, about their age, and about their size or their face or their whatever. It really is that deep, okay? We are conditioned, whether you believe it or not, we are conditioned to believe that this person, because they're from this race, because they are this, because they are that, this is how we think about them and this is how we're going to treat them. So reverse back into learning what is your belief system. And from that point, go deeper. Sit with the uncomfortability, the discomfort of realizing that, wow, I don't even have an anchor to really believe in something that no matter what happens, no matter what changes, no matter what thoughts come in and out, because trust me, thoughts will come in and out. This is what I go for. This is who I am, and this is what I'll achieve every single day. And damn, it's very important. So I'm going to keep it short, but that within itself is the inner work. That within itself is the deep it's what we say going through the dark night of the soul, just so that you can come out and become whole. And let's talk in other videos as well, but stick with this one and really reflect on that. How to think for yourself when the world won't let you. First, what is your belief system? And what do you believe? Because if you don't believe, what can you really achieve? Your thoughts create actions. But if you do not have an anchor that really navigates your thoughts, like, hang on, no, 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 no. Yes, I think this way, but that's not what I am. That's a different angle, man. And I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.